everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started, if you don't mind. In just a few minutes, you'll still be able to listen to some music, enjoy some great prizes, and of course, the fantastic food and the amazing dessert, okay? But we're going to go ahead and get started tonight so we can get to all this fun that we're going to have here this evening. Good evening to all of you, and welcome to Reimagine Charlotte, presented by Harris Teeter, a benefit for the American Cancer Society. I am Trish Williford, anchor with WCCB Charlotte Television, and we just want to thank all of you for being here tonight. As you recall, last year, we virtually hosted Reimagine Charlotte at home, and while it was wonderful to join you in your living rooms, it is so much better to see all of your beautiful faces here in person tonight without the masks, thankfully, to support the mission of the American Cancer Society. We also welcome our viewers on our wccb-tv live stream from all across the country tonight. Although the COVID-19 pandemic continues to have a serious impact on many people, including cancer patients, their families, and caregivers, the American Cancer Society has been a great resource through this health crisis by providing reliable information and support. From routine cancer screening recommendations to vaccination guidance and event protocols, the safety of patients, volunteers, guests, and staff remains a top priority. Now, I'd like to introduce my co-host for the evening, Doug Rice, President and lead announcer for the Performance Racing Network.
Thank you very much, Trish. I think between the two of us, we're going to give this gooseneck a workout before the evening's over. Thank you for being here. What a wonderful evening. I'm thrilled to be here with all of you. This is all about fun and raising funds tonight. We're here to celebrate survivors, bring hope to those who are currently fighting, and to honor those that we have lost to the dreaded disease of cancer. For those of you joining us for the first time, promise you that this will be an evening that you will leave here knowing that you did something really special, that you supported the American Cancer Society in truly accelerating the process in the fight to end cancer. Throughout the evening, you're going to hear inspiring stories from those who have been touched by cancer, learn how the research right here in our own backyard is making a difference. And we will hear why it is so important, especially in times like these, to attack cancer from every angle. We're here to celebrate the life-saving work of the American Cancer Society, like I said, and to raise funds to benefit them. And most of us know someone, I would dare say all of us, know someone whose life has been touched by cancer. As a cancer survivor myself, I can tell you that there is nothing in the world that prepares you for the moment that the doctor looks at you and goes, well, Doug, you have cancer. There's no training, there's no regiment. Your parents can't prepare you for that. It's a life-altering moment, and we're here tonight to try to soften that for a lot of people as we move forward. It's indeed my pleasure to work as a co-host tonight with Trish. Thanks a lot again for being here. Trish?
Thank you, Doug. Thank you. For more than 100 years, the American Cancer Society has remained the leader in the fight against cancer and is the largest private funder of cancer research, second only to the federal government. The American Cancer Society has contributed to nearly every major cancer research breakthrough in recent history. In just the past decade, more than $3.4 billion has been invested in cancer research at leading institutions all across the country, including more than $15 million in research right here in the Carolinas, including in our own backyard at Levine Cancer Institute. Today, 2 out of 3 people diagnosed with cancer are surviving. And with all your help through fundraising events such as this Reimagine Charlotte event, there has been a 31% decline in cancer deaths. This translates to more than 2.9 million deaths avoided since 1991. So our mission is to save lives, celebrate lives, and lead the fight for a world without cancer. And you can help by donating tonight. Please turn your attention to the video screen to watch a message from the American Cancer Society CEO, Dr. Karen Knudsen.
I'm Dr. Karen Knudsen, CEO of the American Cancer Society and the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network. I want to thank you for your commitment to ACS and for standing by us as we navigated the unique uncertainties of the last year. As you well know, the pandemic created even greater challenges and stress for cancer patients and their caregivers. It's because of your ongoing dedication that we've been able to keep funding research and providing life-saving programs and support to those who most need it. Don't ever underestimate the power your donations and gifts have on the course of cancer care and discovery. While each of you are critical to ACS's impact on cancer, there are a few people whose commitment went above and beyond. I'd like to give an extra special shout out to the volunteers, sponsors, and to all those who gave their time to bring this wonderful gathering to the community. Thank you and enjoy the event. Hello and welcome.
Of wine, I don't know anybody here that's not, dining, tailgating, sports experiences, or just looking for a great gift for the holiday season. We've got these beautiful hand-decorated aprons here created by our own chefs, David Burke and Jeffrey Russell, plus 14 other very renowned chefs. And they look beautiful. You can bid on those. You can bid early and often, so make sure that you take care of your business today on the silent auction. We will close the silent auction promptly at 9 o'clock tonight. I'd like to now acknowledge and thank our presenting sponsor, Harris Teeter. Before we go any further, welcome to the dais now, Dana Robinson, Communications Manager, Harris Teeter. Come on up, Dana.
Good evening, everyone. It is so nice to be in a room with everyone and see faces without masks. I oversee corporate affairs for Harris Teeter, and I am so proud to be here representing our company tonight. You know, it's very rare that I can say, I would really love to let that sponsorship go, but I can say that about this event, because the day that we can let this sponsorship go is the day that we've cured cancer, and that's why we're here tonight. So what we need is for you to dig deep into your pockets, make sure you're visiting that bar often, and we want you to raise that chef's hat when we ask you to, because you are the reason that we can say that, how many deaths was it that we avoided, Trish? 2.9 million? 2.9 million deaths that were avoided because of the work that you guys are going to help us do here in this room. Harris Teeter is proud to be here. We're proud to be your sponsor. And on behalf of our president, Rod Analock, our 35,000 Harris Teeter associates, many of whom are cancer survivors, we're so excited to be here, and we thank you for being here as well.
Thank you, Dana. An evening such as this wouldn't be possible without the effort and passion of our Reimagine Charlotte Board of Ambassadors. We are thankful for the driving spirit of our co-chairs, Dr. Cheryl Richards, CEO, Catapult, North Carolina Statewide Employers Association, and Chef David Burke of Red Salt by David Burke. Cheryl.
Good evening, everyone. It is truly a privilege to be here serving as the Reimagine Charlotte co-chair with my friend, Chef David Burke. David and I met amidst the COVID pandemic, and we have been diligently working together to create opportunities for aspiring chefs
to find their passion and fulfill their dreams. Let me tell you, you are in for a real treat tonight. With the culinary expertise of Chef Burke, along with Chef Robin Steib, culinary faculty at Johnson & Wales University, where I served as president until just last month. Robin and I have been personally touched by cancer. Robin lost her husband last year to leukemia. I recently lost my father, who was a 3-time cancer survivor of tonsil, liver, and prostate. My dad used to say to me, "You never know if you beat cancer until you die of a heart attack," which he did. My mother-in-law is also a 3-time cancer survivor, beating breast cancer twice along with lung cancer. Because of your support, the American Cancer Society can help people facing cancer in every community by funding groundbreaking cancer research. I'd like to give a special thanks to our Board of Ambassadors. Throughout the challenges of the past year, your commitment to the American Cancer Society and this event has not wavered. I am humbled to work with each of you. You make an amazing team. I would like you to please stand as I call your names. Maura Quinn, Melissa Matheny, and Doug Rice are all cancer survivors. Katrina Carney, Stacy Couch, Stephanie DeMoss, Tiffany Keaton, Kelly Grutko, Nick Giuliano, Dana Robinson, and our mission chair, Debbie Robinson, Kathy Shea, Alexandria Kessel, and Jacqueline Sinceri. Please give these people a round of applause. Thank you all for being here, and thank you to all of our chefs. Trish?
So tonight we invite you to participate in our silent and also live auctions and Mission Moment paddle raise. I hope you've already seen some of the fabulous items and packages available, including getaways, a beautiful diamond necklace that I'm going to model in just a little bit, that I hope I will continue to wear by the end of the evening, and a private chef-prepared dinner from Red Salt by David Burke. Doug?
Thank you very much, Trish. We're going to keep our eye on Trish in case she tries to duck out early. Got another appointment or something? Yeah, I can see that. Looks wonderful on you, by the way. All right, we got a lot of great items. Let's go ahead and introduce our chefs. Chef Robin Steib, Associate Professor, Johnson & Wales University. Chef Robin holds a bachelor's degree in culinary arts and a master's degree in teaching, both summa cum laude from JWU's Providence campus. She has operated her own organic produce farm and fresh food venue. Chef Robin, where are you? Come up, let people see who you are. Up next, from Livingstone College in Salisbury, North Carolina, proud to introduce Chef Carl Brown, an experienced executive chef with a demonstrated history of working in the food production industry, skilled in catering, food preparation, events management, culinary skills, and food and beverage. Strong business development professional with a present focus in a master's in divinity from Hood Theology Seminary. Welcome, Chef Carl Brown. Up next on our list, Executive Chef Jeffrey Russell, Red Salt by David Burke, our host restaurant for the evening, has more than 15 years experience as an executive chef, skilled in catering, cooking, food prep, and management, educated at the Culinary Institute of America. And leading this esteemed group of professionals coming up on now, welcome our host, David Burke. Most of you know him. David is a pioneer in American cooking. He is also recognized internationally for his revolutionary techniques, exceptional skills, successful restaurant empire, and of course, a lot of time on television. And he is a rock star in the culinary world. We're thrilled he is here along with our other 3 chefs tonight, and he will be happy to take your questions during dinner preparation. Mr. Burke, the microphone is yours, sir.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Let me just go up here. Thank you. Well, all right. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome to the Meridian and our first annual event for cancer research and cure. And happy to be here. Happy to be in Charlotte, and happy to see people out and about after this long several months of not being able to get out. And we have some good entertainment and some good artwork and some good auction items. And it's nice to kick it off this way, and hopefully we'll continue to do this. I appreciate everybody for coming out and trying to support this cause. I know everybody's been infected by cancer. I have recently, my dad, and over the last 2 years, he's been in and out and lost a piece of half of one of his lungs this past year. And when you see it that close, luckily he's alive, but you see it that close, you realize that it's pretty debilitating, and there's not much you can do. So it's sad. He's still around fighting, and he's a strong guy, but I can see what it's taken out of him. And it's, he's not a young guy, but he's a strong guy, and so we're, it means a lot more to me to try and help fight this. I also got a reminder on Facebook about a young girl who died 3 years ago, and we were doing some work with them in New York City at the Children's Hospital, and she was about 10 or 12 years old and happy. Didn't know really what she was missing, but when you see the kids, it's really upsetting. And that reminder actually came up today, and it was sad, but she's in a good spot. So we'll try to do what we can to move forward. Anyway, tonight we'll have a good time. We've got a little demonstration. We got some great food. We got some, where's that young lady that's going to be singing? We got some live music coming. Looking forward to that. And there's some good auction items. And don't make fun of my apron. I'm a culinary artist. Not a real artist. I stay in my lane. All right, enjoy it.
All right, well, thank you very much, Chef. We're going to have our auctioneers come up here on the stage for a little bit. We want you to have a great time. We're going to let these folks do the dinner presentation and get your service going. So, chefs, the stage is yours to get started with our program. Thank you very much. I got to mention some sponsors. They give the racing guy a chance to talk about the sponsors. So there's always the people back in the shop. So let's give a warm welcome to all of our sponsors joining us here tonight. Albemarle Foundation and Nucor, Ally, Atrium Health, Levine Cancer Institute, Sealed Air, SFX Flow, and Tito's Vodka. Also, thank you to Piedmont Natural Gas for underwriting Tammy Pope, our photographer, who was doing the shots earlier today. And thank you to LMK Clinical Research Consulting as our digital program sponsor. iHeartMedia for sponsoring the valet service. And, of course, our media partner, and especially the fact that they loaned us Trish for tonight, wccb-tv. Thanks a lot to all of our sponsors, because they make things possible. And now.
All right. Well, we got some food coming up here, and then we're gonna see if we're gonna do a little demonstration and then feed you. And these things here, I'm sure you're trying to figure out what these are. This is salt. This is why the name of the restaurant is Red Salt. And these are Himalayan salt bricks. They're about 500 million years old, so they've been around a long time. Primordial ocean, and we have these downstairs in our restaurant on one wall, and some of our other restaurants, we use this quite a bit as an architectural piece. The reason we started using this is this was given to me about 20 years ago by someone that said, certainly you can figure out what to do with it. And in '04, I was on Iron Chef against a guy named Bobby Flay, who cheated. He cheats, by the way. And I mean, I beat him, but he won. And he won't do a rematch. So anyway, but I had a big piece of this, and I did it on the show, and I put raw lamb on the brick, and that was the first time it was on TV, and people were like, "What the hell is he doing now?" And we use it as a carpaccio. So this we use also as a plate. So we'll put the raw meat or sushi on this, and this becomes a seasoning block. So you don't need the soy. Sometimes we'll put herbs down so that you have like a buffer. If you put this down, you'd have a buffer so it doesn't get too salty. So we started playing with things like that. And then I had invented a diet product. Believe it or not, I invented a diet product. And it was called Flavor Sprays. And it was a diabetic-friendly, cow-free, carb-free water that tasted like bacon and butter and blue cheese and birthday cake and strawberry shortcake and Parmesan, you name it. We had 30 flavors, and we were killing it, selling like crazy. And dry-aged meat, I was working with Smith & Wollensky at the time, and we were dry-aging meat. And when you dry-age meat, you take a big piece of meat, like a prime rib, raw, you put it in a cooler for 30, 40 days. It shrinks by 20%, the water evaporates, and it takes on the flavor. It enhances. It ferments a little bit, so it gets better tasting, like a Parmesan, right? It gets drier. There's a little more waste, but it changes, and it tenderizes it. So, but you lose 20%. So I said to myself, why can't we make the dry-aged flavor into the spray? So I brought the dry-aged meat to the laboratory in Jersey, which all these artificial flavors are made all around. They're all in Jersey, and they're perfume factories for food. And actually, I grew up a half a mile from one. I didn't even know it at the time, called IFF. And we just bought a restaurant across the street from them. We're opening soon. But anyway, I got it analyzed, and the guy, the scientist, food scientist, you know, they make like nachos, all the flavors for vodkas and all that. He came back to me and he said, this is the most complicated flavor profile we ever analyzed. It had like 380 different flavor molecules, et cetera. And he said, but the most curious thing was that the number one flavor was cardboard. So he goes, you're basically serving your customers cardboard. But the flavor of the meat, he said, had cardboard molecule flavor. I'm like, okay, cool. Right, so I go back to my refrigerator where all the meat was. You know, it's a big locker. And on the floor was cardboard because we don't mop the floor in that because it's dry. You don't want to put bleach and stuff. So that cardboard was absorbed by the meat. So then I went to my desk, and there was a brick sitting there for like a year. And I said, that's what we'll do. We'll put the bricks of salt in the refrigerator, and then we got a U.S. patent on that. So we have a patent on dry aging meat in a red salt cooler. And one just by mistake. I mean, I'm not that smart. So that's how that patent came about. So our dry aged meat downstairs in some of our other restaurants is state of the art, but you know, buying the best, treating it well. But anyway, that's how that salt came into being the name of our restaurant, and this and that and the other. And this story about how we put the bacon on the clothesline, I can't tell you, because that was a late night in Vegas. And so it really was. I think that's how, like, Led Zeppelin wrote songs back then, you know. They stayed out late and figured things out. So the bacon is a signature dish, and we put it on the clothesline for many reasons. Number one, it's Instagrammable, and this was pre-Instagram. It's shareable, it's conversational, and it's cool. And we can charge more with all those four things. And it's bacon. We tried it with calamari. Nah, didn't work. So, all right, first course. So Jeffrey does a great job down there, by the way. And a shout out to Johnson & Wales, and thank you, Cheryl. We're doing a lot of work with them. And we have a couple of people here. You're going to meet this gentleman right here. And We have a couple interns downstairs, or fellowships downstairs, doing a great job. Anyway, Jeffrey's here, and he oversees that, but he's in the back. So this is Beets. Remember Beets when nobody ate them? Brussels sprouts, nobody ate them. Kale, nobody ate kale. Right? So whatever you hate right now, start investing in. Because the same as neighborhoods in New York, you know. If there's prostitutes and pimps and drugs, invest. That's the meatpacking district. So what we do in the restaurant is, you know, we have to do things ahead of time if we want to make things look pretty, because when we make things look pretty, we can charge more. So this is a beet, we call that Beet Carpaccio. It's roasted beets, and we slice them, we put them on things like this. So when the young chef gets an order for one, he has it ready. And then when he gets an order for 20 of them, he's got it ready. But this is what happens during the day. We do all that. Now, we could also put this on here and build one on the salt brick, and then we really can charge more. So you have a beet. You know, traditionally, you'd go to a steakhouse, you'd have a shrimp cocktail, right? Shrimp cocktail you can get in all of the steakhouses in America. So we try to be a little more unique and also more creative. So we'll do something where you're getting a beet salad and a shrimp cocktail together. And in some cases, you're getting a trendy item. And this trendy item happens to be Burrata. Does anybody know what Burrata is, or anybody not know? So Burrata is another one of those things that came on the market about 10 years ago, and now it's on every menu in America. And it's like creme brulee. It was great 20 years ago until TGI Fridays started selling it. And then you can buy it in ShopRite, you know. Happened to the kiwi, too. I'm old enough to know when the kiwi made its debut. So we got the beets, and Burrata wasn't made in America until recently, but Burrata is an interesting piece of cheese because it's mozzarella wrapped around not quite mozzarella. So it's mozzarella that you take the cheese, you make the mozz by pulling, then you wrap it around the ricotta of the mozzarella, the curd. I don't like using the word curd because it doesn't sound like a sexy word unless you're eating fried cheese curds, right, in a brewery. So that's the cheese, and that's the beets, and then you have some shrimp, and then we kind of put these around, and we change our mind and still yell at the cooks because they don't know we're changing our mind. And then there's a little bit of arugula here, and arugula is again. It's arugula. I don't know why. I had a wedge salad yesterday. I went to a restaurant in what town was that? Davidson, I think. We went to a place called Epic, and we had a wedge. It was good, and everybody makes a wedge, and there's a reason a wedge is a wedge. But then arugula comes around. Arugula tastes a little better, but it doesn't have the crunch. So now we have fried sage, which gives you some crunch. You have creamy cheese. You have beets, and then we have a vinaigrette. And this is a citrus vinaigrette. So if you wanted to, and this is what you're going to be eating. So you've got all these elements. You got to have salt and pepper, which we always use a lot of. We use a lot of salt. I was trained in French restaurants, and I was talking to a gentleman who knows Christopher Gross, another great chef. He's in Phoenix and Scottsdale. And we used a lot of butter. We used to cook. The French use a lot of butter. Butter tastes great. You use a lot of butter probably down here too, right? And it makes food taste better. But you got to have acid to cut all that richness. You got to have, there's always acid. When you look at desserts, salads, there's vinaigrette. The vinaigrette cuts the meal. That's why you have vinegar. That's why desserts are sweet. Sugar and vinegar help you digest. So that's why I always eat dessert.